Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be discussing what I thought of the latest and very emotional episode of AMC's Fear the Walking Dead, which dropped its newest episode earlier today on AMC Plus. The episode will drop later this week on Sunday night on regular TV on AMC. But for those of us who are AMC Plus subscribers, like yours truly, we get to watch it today. And it was a great one. Heavy, but a good one. So before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, spoilers are obviously going to be abundant throughout this video. If you're not caught up on Fear the Walking Dead by the latest episode, which is episode 5 of season 8, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I will be going to spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's jump right into it. So, first and foremost, it wasn't exactly a surprise or a shock to see Grace did indeed die. And it also wasn't a surprise to get confirmation that this so-called radiation treatment that June had administered on Finch, Dwight and Sherry's son, was like more of a band-aid or a temporary holding action, because it seems like the zombie bite, the wound was getting ripe again, and it was getting fresh, and it was starting to infect him once again. So I feel like, unfortunately, it's only a matter of time for their son, much like how it's just a matter of time for Grace. You know, Grace couldn't be amputated because it was bit her right on the side, and she lasted for a pretty long while. Of course, if you're a major character in a show like this, you tend to have your death delayed for as long as possible. If not delayed, but definitely it doesn't happen quite as quickly as, say, if you were a secondary character or whatever. But oh well. No, but you know, as unsurprising as it was to see her go, it was still pretty sad. Grace had been on the show for quite a while. She'd become Morgan's new love interest. Together, they had adopted this baby girl. And unfortunately, you know, her death did the very thing that Morgan didn't want to have happen, which is it caused Mo to want to sever all familial connections together. Like, she doesn't want to feel this way. She doesn't want to feel the pain, the loss, the mourning, the grief of losing a parent. Nobody wants to feel that, but especially a child. And of course, that's the whole point of Padre. It's like, well, we tear kids away from their families so they never have to deal with this inevitable loss ever, because we're sparing their feelings in a really twisted, fucked up way of trying to protect kids or whatever and rebuild the world. So now, of course, Mo's thrown back in with Padre. At least for now, just to clear out these walkers, it's possible she could be playing them as well, but only time will tell. But yeah, as unsurprising as it was to see Grace go, it didn't make it any less sadder. You know, it was still pretty sad to see her go. It seemed like the flashbacks from previous episodes and earlier seasons featuring her and Morgan and them finding baby Mo and whatnot. You know, pretty sad stuff. And of course, this episode, I think, was a reminder that not only was the radiation therapy not working and not an actual cure to walker bites, but it was just a temporary measure that only delays the inevitable, which is death. So unfortunately, Dwight and Sherry's son, I don't see him surviving the rest of this season for much longer. So, hate to sound grim, but that's probably the case. And I really liked this episode a lot. Like I said, it was a bit emotional, a bit heavy, but it was a pretty good major character death episode. It wasn't too over the top or over dramatic. It was very soft, I would say, almost. And even though Morgan sadly was the one who still put her down, it did put our characters on a new, interesting new direction, which is now, you know, do they either help Padre or do they continue to fight against Padre? Like, Mo has seemingly taken the side of helping Padre, while Morgan's remained trapped and a prisoner of Padre, although not for much longer, because it seems like they just attracted a walker herd to basically surround him and keep him there and inevitably, eventually kill him, hopefully. But we'll see what happens with that. So overall, I really liked this episode. I liked seeing all of our characters work and come together. Well, not all of them, but, you know, I like the stuff with Morgan, Grace, Dwight, and Sherry and their son, you know, and overpowering the Padre soldiers and outrunning them on the speedboat. That was a pretty good speedboat chase. That was a pretty exciting action sequence, I honestly got to say. I enjoyed that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode, which, by the way, is the last mid-season finale ever until the show comes back, presumably either later this summer or early this fall. The show is going on a brief hiatus starting next week with its mid-season finale, and it won't be back until some later date later this year, mostly because the new show, another Walking Dead spinoff called The Walking Dead Dead City, which is the show featuring Negan and Maggie, is going to be having its series premiere on June 15th, a week from now, which is the same date as the mid-season finale for this show. And then Dead City will have its official premiere on cable on AMC regular TV that following Sunday night on the 18th as well. So just mark those on your calendars if you haven't already. So I hope you guys are ready for more Walking Dead, because we may be going on a hiatus with Fear, but Dead City will keep us entertained until then. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Fear as much as I did. What did you think of this episode? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Fear the Walking Dead has its mid-season finale, just one more episode to go, which is next week. It'll drop next Thursday and then subsequently the following Sunday. Have an awesome rest of your night, everyone. Thanks for watching. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.